around The Naked Truth. Lively discussions about business, marketing, and personal development for small business owners. No hype, just help.
Welcome to The Naked Truth. If you're hearing us right now, let me know. Can you hear my music in the background? Paul, can you hear my music in the background?
No. Some days I can, but today I cannot.
Today I can. So before we get started with Canva, I want to share something.
Is it the glockenspiel? It's like a xylophone? It's like a jazzy...
Yeah.
First of all, I just love the word glockenspiel. I just think that's a great
I don't know
word.
what that means, but
I think
sure.
the world needs more glockenspiels. But
So before we started, I wanna share something. So I got this like super cool agronomic mouse, right?
yeah.
And I had another one of those, and the other one was using batteries. This one is chargeable. And you know what the problem with chargeable mice?
You forget to charge them.
No, they run out of charge in the middle of your work.
That's what I mean, because you forget to charge them.
So you have to charge them every night.
I have a Mac mouse, right?
Yeah.
But my old one, you put batteries in, and now this one you charge it. And it used to be, it's in some ways I feel like, no, give me the one with the batteries, because when the batteries would run out, I'd pop them out and pop in two more, and I used rechargeable batteries.
Yep.
Right? I didn't want to throw batteries away. But now when this one runs out, I'm like, oh shit, I just need to plug it in and let it recharge. So if you cultivate the habit, which I'm still working on, of like at the end of the day, plug it in. Or have every 2 days, plug it in. But it's kind of weird.
But it comes with such a short cable. I'm like, if it had a long cable, then I can connect it to my computer and it'll be charging every time. But the charger is now on the other side of the room. And so now...
So here's, we're digressing into a whole other tech discussion, right? But here's the other thing I don't get. I'm like, you people at Apple are so smart. They put the port on the bottom.
So now you have to leave it on the...
Yeah, so you can't use it. It sticks into the bottom, so then you can't use the mouse. You have to just not use it and charge it. I'm like, why didn't you? Because
on the side. Yeah. So mine is on the side. It's on the front, but still, right? Like the cable is like this long. So
too short. Yeah.
Yeah. So
sometimes smart people do stupid things, and while I love engineers for the many amazing things they've brought into our society, I'm like,
that's not one of them, right? So we have a bid from LinkedIn is watching us right now, and he says, I'm a graphic designer and a branding specialist. I want to connect with you. Spam comment. If you don't want to do spam comments and you actually want to come and talk about Canva today.
Maybe he genuinely wants to connect with you. You never know. He might.
Yeah, I doubt it. But anyways, all of you who want to win something this Friday, comment on any place that you see, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, and we're going to add you to our wheel of names. So today we are comparing the free Canva and the paid version, and we're going to show you what can be done with them should you pay was it $120 a year? Something like that?
If you pay for a year in advance, they knock it down to $10 a month, so it's $120 a year. If you go month to month, I think it's $12 a month, and you're looking at like $144 a year. I just signed up last week for the free version, and so I know very little about it. So you're going to have to sort of carry us on this. I will tell you right off, it's very impressive. Like there's a tremendous amount of things you can do, so much so that again, the burden that I am going to put on you, Ifat, is I don't see how you could possibly need the paid version. The free version.
Oh, I'll show you.
That's going to be the test. That's what we're putting out.
Okay, so let's start with like why would you even use Canva, right? So why Canva? Canva will replace Photoshop for you. Not completely replace it, but if you need to do social graphics, or if you want to do graphic for video, or if you want to have anything from resumes to book covers to banners for your social profiles, marketing, events, prints, video, school, personal, they have it all. They have templates They make it easy to create, and they basically follow, you follow a pattern. So if you're not a graphic designer, but you do want to look professional, then yes, Paul, not a graphic designer, and you do want to look professional, then Canva can really save you tons of time of learning how to use Photoshop and how to create images and all that stuff. So it's not an image editor, right? Like, it will not allow you to do gradients for an image or
it's not a pure
stuff.
photo editor, right? Like, it's not. Yeah, I get that. But I have to tell you right off, again, brand new user, basically. And I have some folks in my mentorship program that have been using it for a while. And Annie's here with us, and I asked her to come in today because she can represent that perspective. Like, they were telling me, I kept saying, I kept avoiding it because I wanted to offer my mentorship people ways to do like no cost work, get no, and they're like, yeah, but you can do it for free and it's so good. And so I was like, all right. And like, it's pretty incredible how as soon as you get into it, even at the free level, there's all these pre-formatted, you need a Facebook cover, you need YouTube channel cover art, you need Pinterest, they've got them all formatted and ready to go.
So let's compare, share your screen, show Canva. Let's compare the free version with the paid version. And before you do that, like, what we're going to create, we're just going to create something, right? And we'll compare creating it with the free version and the paid version, right? So Paul, what do you want to create? Like, what would you use Canva for?
I want to create, first of all, I cannot share my screen because apparently your Zoom settings have it disabled, so I can't do that.
That's right, because you
may have to carry us on that.
No, I'll make it. I'll make it so you can share.
Can you make it? I thought those were once you set them.
Okay. Try sharing.
So I find, look at that.
What do you want to create first?
Most often am wanting to share is what I'm most often wanting to create is like Facebook posts and then YouTube thumbnails.
Okay. Yep. Okay.
I know it does a lot more than that, but those are the big ones for me.
Okay, so go ahead and try creating that.
All right, so let's see. So social media, Instagram post, Instagram story, Facebook post.
So what you chose is animated, right? Which is pretty cool.
Did?
Yep, you chose an animated cover, which is pretty cool. So that's another really cool thing. You can create GIFs with Canva very easily, right?
Oh, animated social media.
Yeah,
all right, now you really
That's super
have
cool.
me discovering something new. All right. What do I do if I...
So mouse over any of the templates on the left, and you'll see them moving, and you can see the animation. So if you just mouse over one, you should see the animation.
Oh, they
So now if you click on one... Right? Then it becomes... and I need to center you some more in our screening. So, guys, let me do this for a second. Hold on a second. I'm just gonna come here and chat with you while I fix Paul. So, Paul, hold on a second. Let me fix you. So, as you're watching us right now, as I am fixing Paul's view, what I would love for you to do is let us know, are you using Canva? Are you using Canva for anything? Are you using the paid version? Are you using the free version? If you are, what are you using it for? And come on in and let's talk about it, and we can answer some of your questions as we're walking Paul, as we're comparing the free version with the paid version. So now you should see all of Paul's screen. So let's do that. Okay, so you picked one, right?
Yeah.
Is it animated? Is it moving?
It's not. It's funny. I didn't go anywhere. I didn't change anything.
Okay, so
this one does. But see, now when I click on some of the ones that move, they say they have multiple pages.
So choose one. It doesn't matter. Just click on one. Right? And there you go. You have an animated. And why would you want an animated image? It's because it captures the eyes in the feed. As people scroll down, it's easier to to see. So now all you have to do is change the text, right? And you can change colors and you can change the text. So you just click on whatever it is that you want and you just update that. And now you have a professionally done font-wise, typography, you know, overlays, animation, everything looks super professional, even if you've never created graphics before. And that's the beauty of Canva, right? You just click and change. Now, I think if you click on the background, Paul, can you change the colors?
Ooh. Oh, come on, Paul.
So this one, for example, you have a K there.
So if I click on the background,
yep, you can change the color. So you see on the top there, you have green and blue, and you can change it to your brand colors.
Oh,
so before you even start with Canva, one of the cool things that you can do is you can set your own palette. And which means that if you have people or a team working with you, you can set up your own brand kit. You'll have your fonts, you'll have your colors. So if you click on home, Paul, do you have that option to create your own brand kit? Or is it only in the paid version? So you have a brand kit, yep, over there on the top, yep, click on that. And you can add, see? So you can add your own brand colors. And now,
it's saying I have to upgrade though.
There you go. So that's in the paid version. So in the paid version, you can create your own brand kit.
But wait though, down here, it's weird. So your logo's on hand when you need them. Upload your own font. So it's saying I have to upgrade for that, but yet it's giving me these down here as if I can do my own.
So you can probably choose one. No, you can add many palettes. So probably just not updating your logo. Upload your personal.
I don't know. Let's see. So if I take this and I drop this here.
You'll have to click on that and you choose one, right? So choose whichever. Yep. No. Go back.
Back?
Yeah, close this one out. Go back to your brand kit.
This one out.
Just go back to your brand kit. And click on the plus sign.
Yep. Oh, there it is. Yeah. It's further teasing you to get into the pro level. Okay.
Right. So your brand kit, you can set up your colors, not necessarily your images, right? So for me, I'll just show you a comparison.
Right, do it.
I can add as many as I want, and I can have different brand kits for myself and my clients.
So you got to switch to, you got to share though, because it was on me sharing. So now you got to share.
I am sharing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Can you see my screen?
Yes, you got it.
Okay. So I can have as many colors as I want. As many.
Holy moly.
Yeah, a bunch. And I'll tell you, one of the really, really awesome things about this one is that when I lost my hard drive, thank goodness I uploaded the high-res logos into Canva, because now I lost my hard drive and I can come back in and I can download all of them in high resolution and I can download the original. So in one way, super safe. The other thing is that now you can tell your team, you don't have to make sure that they remember what fonts, what colors you're using. It's all right here in the brand kit. So if I can create a design, all I have to do, if I go to my designs and I create a new one, right? I can create presentations, logos, graphic. This is super, super cool. Let's say I create a social post, right? Then now all I have to do is click on this and I have my brand colors here, and whatever new member I bring to the team, all they have to do is click on it and now it's branded, right? I can choose the text and I have, these are the fonts that I chose in my brand kit right here.
Which is just speeding up your production all the time, right? That's the key, is you're cranking out stuff so much faster when you have all that stuff set up ahead of time.
Totally. And it has so many options that you can use that, you know, resume, I don't know, you probably have the same thing. You have like, you know, videos, images.
Yeah. I mean, again, that's one of the areas in which I think when you're new, regardless of a free or paid, is even at the free level, there's so many things that you get a little overwhelmed with how many things, like posters, presentations. is it worth it? Have you ever done a presentation on Canva?
I did. So
is it better to do a presentation on Canva than in Google Slides or PowerPoint or Apple's Keynote?
It's so much easier, right? So I'll find one and I'll show you. Let me find one that I've done. So one of the things that I did is when we offered a 10-day challenge, interactive challenge for people, I was like, here's why it's worth it for you. So let me find it. There you go.
This is one of the biggest things that drives me crazy about this is the double-edged sword of the amazing age we live in, right? Is you want to be as productive as you can be. You want to have your stuff to look as professional as it can look, but you get caught in the sheer volume of
options,
the sheer volume of noise, right? Is you think, so what, you go, why would I think my first thought would never be, I should do a presentation on Canva. Right? You go, I've got Keynote or I've got PowerPoint or there's other options that have been around longer, I guess, but that doesn't mean they're necessarily better, right? Just because something's been around longer doesn't mean it's better. And it's just
right. So the difference between Keynote and PowerPoint and Google Slides is that with them, you have to be the designer. And if you are not a designer and if you don't have an eye for design, then it's going to look like 1996, right? So if you want to look professional, then you come in here, and with the paid one, you get tons of photos and illustrations that are honestly really, really cool. And I'll show you what comes up with that. But this is a presentation that I did, right? So it was already done, and it comes up with different pages and everything, and it looks like super professional. All you have to do is just replace the images with your content, and it's done, right?
And it's oriented, that's interesting, it's oriented to be viewed on a phone.
This is actually a PDF, I believe.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. But
right.
So it's not the standard, usually when I think of slide presentations, I think of horizontal landscape, again, Keynote, PowerPoint.
Right. So you have those too. And the beauty of it is that it's already done, right? So you're looking for something that's already done. You can build a website with Canva and then give it to a designer and tell them, build it for me. But
wow.
That's, so if you're going to give this to someone like a graphic designer on Fiverr or something, if they're not creative, right, they're not going to come up with stuff like this. It's just not going to look, there's a professional look and there's a ifat look, I'm not a designer. So there's white space, there are fonts, there are colors that you need to look at, right? So there's a bunch of things that you need to take into account, and this just makes it so much easier.
Well, and that's why I wanted Annie to come in today. Maybe bring Annie in right now, because Annie's been in my mentorship program, and when we got to the point where we were working on lead pages, right, lead magnet, Annie, because she had been an accomplished Canva user already, she kicked everyone's butt in the mentorship program because
we just lost you.
she had a lead page almost immediately. She had this big, gorgeous, it looked so nice and it was so professional. And first I was like, holy cow, Annie. And then I was like, she used Canva.
Hold on a second. Let me just bring you back in because I lost you when I switched you to full thing.
You lost me or Annie?
I lost you for a second. You're coming back, don't worry.
That's okay.
So while you're watching us right now, if you have any questions about Canva or or graphic design or anything like that, let us know because we are here to help you with this. So Annie, hey.
Hey.
How are you?
How you doing? I'm glad to see all the things that Canva can do. It's really exciting.
Yeah.
How long have you been using it, Annie? How long have you been a user?
Couple months.
Couple months, that's all?
Yeah,
and so
that's
again, I think that speaks to the value of it though. I would have thought you had been using it for a year. You crank out stuff
Yeah, no, it does it for me. And I have the free version. I've had the paid version.
Yeah.
And unfortunately they debited my account, and I was like, well, I don't think let's go back to free. So I went back to free, and I'm very happy with it. It does everything you need it to do. And anything more, and I would be doing nothing but being on Canva 12 hours a day. I wouldn't pay attention to anything else. It's so distracting. It's fabulous. Yeah.
Interesting, because the way that I work in batches, right? So I'm like our show tomorrow, we're going to talk about how we're running our show, and Jeff Benix is watching us. So hi, Jeff, come on in, hop on in. So I work in batches, right? Like, so I'm like, okay, let me find all the information that I need from my shows. Let me get the quotes that I want to share. Let me get the images. And I have everything already set up, and I just like put them in, then export all of them. Then I upload them to a software that distributes them, and then I'm done. So I'm not sitting there going like, oh my God, you know, like this is a cool image, and this is a cool image, and this is a cool image, right? Like, okay, what do I need done? What do I want to communicate? Where's that image? Plug it in, and done.
I think that's probably another function of the longer you use it, the better you get at that, right? Like, because again, as someone who just signed up last week, I find myself totally getting caught in just wanting to look at all the shiny things and try to figure out which, you know, so you got to some level of get to that point where you know what your half a dozen templates are that you want to use. You know, you've got to get to that point, I think.
Yeah, and so share your screen for a second, and let's see if you have videos and like animated stuff.
Sharing my screen, sharing my screen.
So choose, it doesn't really matter what, like choose whatever.
Video, animated social media, YouTube intro, Facebook video. It's giving me 4 supposedly.
Okay,
well,
so
there's
click
even
on
more
one.
maybe. So if I wanted to do a YouTube intro, unlock our entire library with Canva Pro, but that seems to suggest that they're giving me a limited.
Yeah, so it is, right? So if I go to video on my, oh no, so you still have stuff. That's great. There you go.
You got some, yeah.
So the nice thing about this one is that you can actually create intro videos. The thing to remember is that this is not a video editor. So you cannot add, well, actually I'm lying. You could, on the top there, you can copy that scene, right? So down a little bit, you see there's a copy, yep. So you copy that page and make it zoom out a little bit. So on the bottom, you see it says 80% or 89%, make it 25% on the bottom right. Yep. Make it smaller. Okay, so now you can create an entire intro video with this, right? So every scene is going to be one of these videos, and you can create an entire introduction video for YouTube just by clicking on these videos and changing one thing, right?
So give me a practical application of that, though. Like, why would I want to do that? As opposed to just having like real video of me or something else.
Because sometimes you want to have, you know, animated, professionally done intros and outros, kind of like a TV show. So if you're watching TV, right, there is an intro. This is the show coming up. Right?
Oh, so is this maybe this is you making your own kind of what they call a bumper? This is you making a bumper?
Yep, you can do that.
Oh.
Yep.
All right.
So you can't edit, right? Like you'll be able to export that into an MP4, and it will have all the pages that you have in them. So you can add different scenes and you can change them, but you can't edit that in Canva. So you'll have to have something like Camtasia or any other iMovie or something like that where you can edit some things.
But you could totally take this, download it, and then use your video editing software to stick it on the front of a video that you wanted to make as a bumper.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, that's nice. That's fantastic if you're trying to do some, you know, native content creation on your own.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah.
And it looks like the free version has a bunch of stuff in it already.
Yeah, this is a lot. Like, so anything that's not free, they put the little image of a crown on it, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So all this, none of this has that. These are all free.
Which is really cool.
Again, little thing in my column. I'm like, why does anyone pay for Canva? So far, the one point that you've got that moves me is the branding kit. Like,
so I use a lot of, images. Now let's do that. So go to upload. Can you upload your own video and use your own video in there?
Can I upload my own video? Question is, do I have video around?
Oh, I'll tell you why. Here's another one. So create another page. That's a really cool feature of Canva. So create another page.
Another page?
Right there.
Oh,
you have one page.
on this like we did before?
Yeah. So make it a little smaller. Create another page and go to that page. That's an interesting way of you working.
Okay. It was called Page Manager, so I clicked it, and look, it did it right away. There's a second page.
So you can drag them.
I can make a third page, right?
Yeah, but go back to where you look at a page. I just want you to create a new one. So we just want to look at one. Now go to Photos.
Go to Photos.
Yep. And now drag like that woman with her hands up.
The stretcher?
Yeah. Drag that in. So it replaces the video there. Doesn't matter. Click on Effects.
Click on Effects.
On the top white banner.
The top.
To the left.
I got it.
Yes.
I got it.
Okay. Click on Remove Background. See, that's a pro feature.
Oh, this is like that site you turned me on to that they'll do it on their. Oh, that's a pro feature.
Yep, that's a pro feature.
Yeah.
So I'll show you how.
Nice feature too.
Yeah, I'll show you how well it does that because it's really, really impressive.
Does it do it better than Remove BG?
Yes, because Remove BG gives you a low res image. So first of all, I have tons of images because I'm paying, so everything is, free. I can drag it in here, right? I go to Effects, Remove Background.
It's working. It's working.
It's doing its magic.
It's working.
There you go. So now I can put whatever I want underneath, right? Like I can have another image. And I can put that. So where's my, sorry. So we'll do that this way. There you go. And I can have that, and I can have.
I get it.
Right, and it's pretty cool, and it's still high res, so I can do it with any other image. So now I can kind of like flip the background, and I can have the mom and baby.
Right. Right.
With whatever background, right? Or now I can have them look at something, like a water thingy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
All right, so there's a second.
And this is what Annie says. You can play with this thing forever because you can come up with a bunch of stuff.
Cool. All right, so
Yeah.
there's two legit arguments for having the paid version of Canva. Because if you use Remove BG, you only get the small version for free. You don't get the
you
big
get a very low
high-res version. So.
Yeah, a very low res. And the amount of images that you get here is really impressive, right? So I can search for anything like, give me something.
They're basically sourcing them all from Pixabay and Pexels.
Some,
right?
right? Some of them are from Adobe, which is really cool. So like, let's say professional, whatever. Right, so some of them are like really not just Pixabay. Because if I go to Pixels, let's do that.
What while you're doing that, and we're thinking ahead, Jeff just asked, what can we animate?
You can animate anything you want. So if we're here, for example, that's one of the cool stuff. So you have like in Elements, you have a bunch of stickers. You can click on that. You can have a bunch of like, Stan. I don't know why you're gonna have Stan, but.
Stan, yeah, I love Stan.
We love Stan, right? But you can animate anything that you want. You can have like arrows and shapes and emojis, and all you have to do is click on it, and then you get like a bunch of. So now you can have the kid looking at like the crazy little thingy.
Can you make your own GIFs
Yes, you can.
on here?
Yeah. So you can save it. So this one is a postcard. You can save it as a postcard. You can download it. You can share directly to Facebook and Twitter, which is pretty cool. Because all you have to do is just click on it, and now it's like.
Can I do that on the free version, or is that a paid thing?
I don't know. Try. Share your screen.
It's free?
Yeah.
It's free to share? Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you could create almost like business versions of memes. Like you could make your own memes
Yeah.
in support of your branding kind of in your business and what you do. That's kind of neat.
Yeah.
All right.
So it has a bunch, like, I don't know. Do you get all these, Annie? Do you get all these stickers with the free one?
All of them, but I get enough of them so that I'm overwhelmed just looking at what I have.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's good for me.
Yeah. And then, you get all these other stuff.
Ifat, how long have you been using Canva?
Me?
Yeah.
Since our Google Plus days when Guy Kawasaki was promoting them.
That's what I thought, is you interviewed Kawasaki when he was first pushing it, right?
Yeah.
When he was long.
Yeah. Yeah.
You've been in it for years and years. How long do you think it took for you to get really good at it?
I never had a problem, so I don't know. Like, it never. But I came from
reason I ask
Photoshop.
is 'cause I ask because you say you're not a graphic person, so you're a great example of like,
Yeah.
if you classify yourself as not a graphic design person and you're cranking out all of that stuff with Canva, like that's a pretty good.
But that's the
you
beauty,
crank
right?
out
That's
a
the
lot
beauty
of
of
stuff.
Canva. Like that's
Yeah.
you don't have to be a graphic designer. Any person can come in and just give it a try and use it. As long as you're not doing like this is the worst part, right? Like when people start becoming creative and they're like, "Ooh, this will be really
That's
cool
when
here."
it gets screwed up, right? Yeah.
Right? Because
when
it's
you
like
start
this
trying
is
to-
ugly. Right? Like
Yeah.
what the hell? Why do we like, but look at this, it's actually moving and it's on top of something.
What
and
the hell?
They're looking at the water and you're like, oh my God, no, right?
Yeah, so
Or-
the key is you have to stick to what their design people
Yeah.
created originally and not mess with it. If you mess with it, you're going to ruin it, and
Yeah.
then it's not going to do things for you, right? So you got to stick as close as possible. That's I found that too with like when you and I are big fans of Enfold, and Enfold gives you like 36 different pre-made website
templates,
designs,
yeah.
right? And the more you dig into that demo and pull it apart, the more you're really going to end up messing it up. But if you,
Yeah.
it's another thing that Annie did that was great is she pulled her demo in, and the only thing she really changed was the colors. She went in and changed the colors to her color palette, and she didn't mess, like she took things away, but she didn't try to put a bunch of her own stuff on it. And so her website looks great because she worked with what a professional designer built for her,
Exactly.
you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
one of the biggest mistakes that people do in design is they mix tons of fonts. So you have like 4 fonts,
Yeah.
right? You have 4 fonts and 5 different colors, and everything is kind of like messed around. You're like, look at that, mommy. No.
Annie, what were you saying? Here's the password?
Yeah, the password that you taught us is change one thing at a time.
Yeah.
With it.
What is it?
So one of the things I keep telling my mentor people is like, you can only change one thing at a time, because if you change more than one thing at a time, you don't really know which thing you changed caused the good outcome or the bad
Yeah.
outcome,
That's true.
right? But if you change one thing, then you only assess that one thing. So if you change a font, then you can look at it and go, does that font work? Does that font not work? If you change a color,
Yeah.
right? But if you
Yeah.
go in and you change the font, the color, and 3 of the images, and then you look at it, you don't know why you really like it or don't like it.
That's true. That's a really good rule, actually. That's a fantastic rule. Yeah. So tomorrow we are going to show you our flow, because one of the biggest challenges that Paul and I were talking about is when you start going live, right? One of the challenges is like the content, not necessarily the tools or actually clicking the buttons and going live, but actually the flow of like, what am I going to talk about every day? How is it going to be interesting? How am I going to set it up? So tomorrow we'll show you exactly how we set up our entire week. And so you guys can come to ask us questions, model it, and start building your own audience. for free.
It's going to be way simpler than you think. That's why you want to check it out. It's going to be so much simpler than you think. That's the whole point. When you keep it simple, it makes it really doable. So we'll show you.
We'll show you that. And we're going to finish with adding Jeff Bennick's name to the wheel. If you want to get on the wheel and get your own prize this Friday, that Paul and I are going to decide what it is soon, comment, interact, let us know you're there. Until then, we'll see you tomorrow. 11, 1, 2, 11, 1, 2. Maybe we'll do it like I do 11. You do the 1, Paul. Let's do that. 11. Because then I just have my 2. Why? We'll try.
Hey, if you enjoyed today's episode, come back and spend more time with us. You could be on the broadcast sharing your thoughts. We hang out live Monday through Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern at www.bethenakedtruth.com/live.